Hi, this is Dr. Linda Miles, and I want to talk to you about a very important neuroscience concept, and that's called brain priming. So, what is brain priming? Brain priming is what you are instructing your brain that it is important to pay attention to. Now, there are so many interesting studies about brain priming. So let me just give you some examples of how it can work unconsciously. At Duke University, they did studies where they asked college students to write down the last 2 digits of their Social Security number. And then they let them bid on things they wanted, like pizzas or something to eat or something for their dorm. And do you know that a significant number of them, if their Social Security was under 50, bid lower? And if it was over 50 in those last 2 digits, they bid significantly higher. A fun study they did with brain priming was they brought guys into the lab and they let them look at pictures of hot women. And then they had them rate them while they were drinking iced tea. So they served them iced tea and they said, hold your glass and be drinking your tea while you're picking out the hottest women. Well, they sign a number, how hot they think they are, and then they had them come back the next week. Only this time, they gave them steaming hot chocolate, and they let them hold that. And then they had them pick who was the hottest. To a significant degree, they picked the same women as hotter than they did the week before. So maybe there were a 4 one week with iced tea, and there were a 5 with hot chocolate. So what does that have to do with you? Everything. Here's what it has to do. Our unconscious is always priming us for what to expect. And what we're putting in our brain is what we are going to notice with selective attention. And even unconscious things like how hot we are or how cold we are, those things can affect what our conscious thoughts are. So what can you do with this? What you can realize is that you need to prime your own brain. How do you do that? You picture as clearly as you can with every sense what it is that you want to have happen. So let's say that you're wanting a relationship. So what you do is you picture what that would be like. You imagine what it would sound like, what it would feel like, what you would be like in that relationship. Every way you can activate that. There is a trove of research with physical, emotional, and intellectual things showing how powerful priming can be. So do that. Pay attention. Prime your brain for what you want to see. And I'm going to finish with an example from my life. I worked with my husband for 6 years in a mental health center, and he was my buddy. We were part of a friend group. I never thought of him as a romantic option. He was just in my friend group until I primed my brain. And I kept thinking, what is it that I want? And in my own mind, I was priming and creating. And one day at lunch, I looked up and noticed him as a potential partner. 35 years of marriage, and he was the best ever. and I lost him last year, but it was my priming that helped me see him. He had been there all along. I just couldn't see him because it was off the 2 digits of my Social Security number, so to speak. So just remember that, and don't prime your brain to look for the negative. Prime your brain to look for what you want. It's not going to be a guarantee, but it helps you notice. It helps focus your attention on what you want and not what you don't want. Thank you.